Hit the button.
This is about delivering great exclusive games for you that ship on platforms where Game Pass exists.
That's true. Welcome to RDX Podcast, Real Deal Xbox Podcast. Thank you for joining us, by the way. We do appreciate it, as we do have some breaking ABK news, unfortunately, for those that are tired of hearing about it. But, you know, we do got to cover it, and it should be pretty interesting. We got a great panel. We got some great topics. We've also got a D-Batch, another week, another podcast, buddy.
Yeah, man. Was a busy day. I spent a lot of my day watching the CES presentations and getting all the news information. We got a lot of new tech coming in 2023, so it's a great way to start off the new year. We got new GPUs, all kinds of stuff. So it's a good week, and we also got some good topics today. I'm in good energy, good spirits. It's a new year, so let's go.
Hey, we also I do got some CES stuff like towards the end of the show that I want you to cover. So look at that and then decide if there's something else you want to add to it. But we've also got Bonzarelli back again, a little sick, but he's here.
Yeah, I'm a little under the weather, but yeah, I'm here. I want to have a good time. Let's go.
And I think that ain't the first time he's ever said that, by the way. We've also got xCloud Tim Dog. That's what I tried to say. How you been, brother?
Good. Happy New Year. We got a lot to talk about. New year, new stuff, hopefully. And a happy, healthy one to everyone on the panel and to everyone listening. Thank you.
And definitely. We've also got Zalker 87. We died in Fortnite together. We reborn right now on the show. How you been?
Ashtray Gaming sucks. That's all I got to say. No,
Stop.
I'm joking. No, we had like 17 kills one round. We're popping off.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we're having a good time playing Fortnite. But it's good to be back in the new year. Happy New Year and happy holidays to everybody that's in the chat. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. And there is a lot of topics to actually go through. So I'm looking forward to it. And of course, this is the year of the make or break for RDX. Either we're shills or we're not. You know.
I mean, that was determined years ago.
We're 100%.
You shut your face.
Years ago. It is the year of making break for Game Pass, though, according to one weird outlet. We'll talk about that. But I do got to shout out to the Patreon shout out tier, the sponsorship tier, sponsor everything I do on the channel. Shout out to these guys: Kinkin66, No Hands Ninja, Galveston. I will get that better going forward. Calypso. We've also got Boba, Fierce Flood, Hargeet, Sean Dasley, Reluctant Dodo, Dub Mobile, Ruben Almighty, Ricky Fallon, Fault Lines, Bad Boy Live, Nano, Zordon, Costanza, KY Bob, Assassin, Loop Before an Object, Teo, John Blue, Vec Boss, Suicide King, Eustacious Genie, Michael Bowen, Guillermo Cavillo, All Might, Dark CMF, and that list does update around the 5th of every month. So check out the link down below. I'll be doing giveaway soon on Discord, just for those that are wondering. Topic of the day, I need to change this. I don't think it should be called topic of the day. We need to find something else that's for spontaneous topics that I randomly see and think, oh, that's interesting, or oh, that's stupid.
Bullshit of the day.
Yeah, bullshit of the day. There we go. For this one in particular, PCGamer.com. Some of your
Idiots.
long-lost brethren, they have a really, really dumb opinion here. All right, so they say that 2023, and chat, let me know if you agree with this, right? Let me know if you agree with this statement by PCGamer.com, but they say 2023 will be the make-or-break year for Xbox Game Pass. Are they... They just went through an entire year with Pentiment and something else I forgot, and
they fucking grew.
They made $3 billion. Like as Nano said behind the scenes, the only thing they're breaking the bank is what they're breaking. Like this isn't a make or break year for them. And then you consider the fact that they do have games coming out this year. What a weird, stupid article.
I think the title is just off. Like, it's not a make or break. Like, we've been talking about it on this podcast for a long time. A lot of people have been talking about it. That 2023, we just want to see some shit come out. That's it, right?
Yeah.
Like, but for them to say that this is going to make or break there's no breaking Game Pass anymore. Like, that's not going to happen. It's well too established, especially in the console space. It's starting to become established in, the PC space with everything in that League of Legends and Riot, like, partnership they just had. This isn't a make or break. I think they're just talking about Xbox as a whole, that they would just like to see some games come out. That's it. And it's not going to make or break Xbox. Like, don't be hyperbolic or fear mongering. And to some extent, we've been doing that a lot, even on here and a lot of other podcasts. But
Now, which one of y'all
at the
been
end of
fear
the day-
mongering? Don't throw me
I've
in
been
there.
fear mongering like a
You know,
motherfucker. Xbox is dead.
Fear mongering motherfuckers over here.
I say so. I give some criticism too, but at the end of the day, I never said that it's going to be make or break for Game Pass. That's so fucking weird.
No.
What
I
kind
don't
of a
think so
monster
either.
would do that?
So tell us,
Stupid
Darth
ass.
Vader, what made you think that? Why did they title it this way when it's clearly just a dumb title?
You know why?
I asked Darth Vader.
Son. Who's Darth Vader?
Bonds, you sound like Darth Vader
Fonz,
right now.
hurry up, Darth Vader, you stuffy nose, bitch.
Sorry, Darth Vader.
I thought you were talking about me.
Damn you.
Did he say-
Yeah, I didn't know. I was like, is it Tim Dog he's talking to? I'm just sitting here waiting.
I'm just confused, man.
No, I don't know why they freaking titled it. Obviously, it's clickbait. It's something to be like, oh, it's juicy. But who? I mean, that's just
You
so
say
weird.
juicy?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
did.
That's
I
hot.
did, bitch. No, but seriously, it's dumb because it's not a make or break year for sure. It's one of those years though that we do want to see them do a lot better than they did the previous year. Okay, we've all complained enough about it, and we want to see Xbox do better. And like you guys said, even with 2022 being so bad when it comes to first party AAA games, anyway, they still did phenomenally well. Still made billions. Game Pass still grew. So they sold so many consoles, like with no fucking games. So imagine that.
I
Next
would
year,
say,
I think they're we know they're going to do better this year for sure. We know about 2 big games coming out that we're looking forward to. So yeah, I'm excited. Like it's just a dumb article.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I wouldn't put it as a break. I see, like, I don't like the title. Like, if they said it's like put up or shut up type of stuff, I would say that, because I feel like right now, like, Sony didn't even have a goddamn event last year. They've skipped every event and nobody's like up in arms because they're releasing games. Nobody's saying anything because the games are coming out and people are like, all right, well, we'll just shut up then. But Xbox is always like saying something. They're always doing something and nothing's coming out. So that, I think, is the problem, right? It's like, if you're the loudest one in the room, you're the weakest one in the room. So at the end of the day, just fucking chill, stop talking, and just release games. Then you can start saying a little bit more once that happens.
Yeah.
Like, that's my whole thought process.
We know that's your thought process, Zelker. Damn it. And we're tired of
Yeah,
hearing
right.
about it. It's too negative. No.
Are
What
they
I
talking though? I don't see them talking.
They're
that
not saying much right now. But actually,
Mhm.
Xbox UK, I think this is their Twitter account. I replied to this. Where is it? Fuck. They said might just have. Oh, they said might need an entire year off to play games. To be honest, and I think that was Xbox Game Pass UK Twitter account. I don't know. I replied to them and I said, too soon, Xbox. I mean, a little too soon, right? Let's just be honest, to be saying that kind of stuff. But they did luckily bring out a few more details about, some release windows and stuff like that for some of their games, which is really all that anyone's ever asking for. I remember seeing even Ryan McCaffrey was sitting there saying, hey, drop some information. You need to drop some solid dates. And of course, better late than ever. He did speak up on this kind of stuff, but we're all looking forward to this kind of information. Just like Kojima.
Well,
Unless someone else
Kojima.
has something else to say about this.
No.
No.
I like it.
Now, fuck you.
Now. Fuck you.
Kojima says Microsoft is the only platform provider that can power his new game. And that means moderately sized and small, or could be anything things. What is it? What is that?
So what is it using though? What technology
Azure.
does Microsoft have?
Azure.
So
Azure.
okay.
The cloud.
Well, yeah, that's why I was asking, because I'm thinking about this game and I'm like, what is this gonna be? And is it gonna be weird? Okay, it's
Yeah.
Kojima.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
For sure, yeah.
But will it have throat babies?
Definitely.
Yeah, somebody told me, they called me an Xbot and said that, oh, I bet you, Fonz has talked so much crap about Kojima, but now that he's going to make a game for Xbox, he's probably going to love it. And
So
I'm
they
like,
don't
no,
watch.
not
Yeah.
at all. I'm not a big fan of his games. There's I like Metal Gear. I like Metal Gear Solid, Metal Gear up to Metal Gear 4. I liked Metal Gear 5 got really weird.
I mean,
just
they were
didn't care
all
for-
pretty
Yeah,
weird.
they're all pretty
Yeah,
weird.
but it got
didn't they
really
charge like
freaking weird.
$40? Did he charge $40 for like a demo, like the ground, whatever the fuck that was?
Yeah.
Ground
Oh
Zero?
yeah. I
Demo
forgot about
Jesus
Rising.
that.
Christ!
But the thing is,
$50.
what I'm talking about, at the end of the day, like I'm really struggling to wonder what this game is going to be like. Like what's he doing that other companies were like, nah, we can't do that.
Yeah.
I
I'll,
don't know.
D-Batch,
I'll
go
say
ahead.
this real quickly. You don't have to be a fan of his games. I'm not particularly a fan of his games. Like Death Stranding, like I'm still trying to get through that game. It's so boring. But he does bring a base with him, and I will say for Xbox fans, I think it's a good thing because it'll bring some players over to Xbox into the platform. And I think his games sell. Whether you like him a lot, he's a pretty divisive person when it comes to his games, but they sell. So I think it's good for the brand. I think
Death
it's good that
Stranding
we have-
sell?
It's sold good enough.
Technically,
I-
you sold
I-
a copy.
Yeah, I think it's good that we have some diversity. So I'm willing to give him a chance on this. I want to say one thing though. I noticed a lot of people talking about that it's a cloud game, and I noticed lately a trend. It appears that Sony is going to be using Amazon for their cloud, opposed to Azure. Any of you guys know anything about that? Because I've been seeing a lot of this lately, and I don't see any mention of Microsoft's Azure.
Well, that's
Sony's
actually a
cloud
topic
anymore.
in the show, D-Batch.
Oh well, there we go. It would help if
Roll
I actually
down.
read the topics, huh?
Yeah, it'd help if you take a look at it.
No, he's right though. That's definitely something interesting. We're going to cover that 100%. I want Tim Dog's thought on what type of game, because remember, this was rumored forever. Kojima, Metal Gear Solid, all this stuff. Been working with Xbox. The deals is still in place. He's confirmed it. He's got a podcast, by the way. And also, what are they doing with the cloud, Tim Dog?
This is complete speculation. But I think I remember there was something about emails and real world, world interaction
Emails, the game.
with your game.
Huh?
So maybe it's something like that. I don't know. I don't think it's going to be anything that's revolutionary.
Oh man.
I think that you should wait and see. But it's obviously using technology that is exclusive to Xbox or Xbox can facilitate.
So you said I'm gonna be able to answer I don't answer my emails in real life.
They're gonna be a way to integrate your phone, I guess,
Oh,
into the game. I don't know. I heard something briefly mentioned that. I didn't put and like I said, I didn't put too much. I remember reading it actually. It was in some kind of it was him speculating or talking about it. So I don't know what it could be. It's not going to be like Titanfall where they used AI, and that was the first iteration of like something that's using the cloud that can't be done in real time, where they use the AI.
Instead, your mom's gonna be able to call you while you're playing in the game.
It's
Right,
it's
so,
a
I
strand
don't know.
game using email.
I do
Nice.
think it's going to be something where it's not a big game. It's more of a game that
shit.
you
It's like a
carry
social
around.
experiment.
Kind of like I think it's going to be
Tim
very.
just said
unique.
Uno through email. Damn.
I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be. I just think my opinion is going to be something that's not like a AAA.
Yeah.
It's more or less going to be something that's integrated somehow differently, and it's going to be an experimental type game.
I agree with you.
That's it.
I agree.
I don't think it's going to be anything more.
It's not gonna be Death Stranding 2. That's unfortunate, but it is something new that's going to take several more years probably, and who knows how many resources Microsoft are throwing at this, right? Like I've always said, I wouldn't give this guy man a dime to make a game for Xbox, and I've always kind of maintained that position. But there are fans. D-Batch is right, and just because D-Batch likes hummus doesn't mean that you don't have to.
What if it is something like a card game?
You stop.
Jeez,
It's not a card game.
Look, we'll see. We'll see. It's from the mind of Kojima. It's got to be good, right?
I really just don't even give a shit. Like everybody's like hyping it up, and some people are talking about it, and people are calling you an Xbot for a reason. Fonz is because a lot of these people that were making fun of Death Stranding, ones that went on Game Pass PC, they were like, "This is pretty good," and they're like playing it. And I put 17, 18 hours into that thing. It is so damn boring. And I just don't look forward to his games when people are like, "Oh, they locked him down and blah blah blah." I was like, "And like I don't know. Like unless it blows me away, unless it's something completely crazy where I'm looking forward to it, or if I see something that impresses me, I don't care. I
Same.
don't trust him as a game developer. I know a lot of people do. I know a lot of people love him and he's like in the Hall of Fame and all that. But for me, it's just never been that big of a Metal Gear Solid guy, and never been, Death Stranding guy, and I just don't care.
Zoka is a toddler.
Yeah, I respect what he's done, but I just don't care for his games much. That's all. It's just preference.
Well, I like how you guys spun this into why you don't like Kojima and from.
No. Well, it's about
Never
Kojima.
said
and it's
anything
about-
about him as a
y'all are
person.
toxic.
But I
And his name is
understand his
Kojami.
legacy. I know I understand the legacy that he brings, but again, we'll just have to see more on it. I'm with Zocker. I got to see more. I have to see what the game's all about before I can, even look at it.
Got to see anything.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah. That's always 100% the case. Usually, you definitely got to wait and see, especially with these experimental projects, quote unquote. By the way, there was actually a video released.
Project.
Yeah, no more of those. There was actually a video released by Xbox On, which is an Xbox-owned YouTube channel. Right? They are directly part of Xbox. I'm pretty
Not
sure.
Xbox Ready?
Not that
show?
bullshit.
Not
They're talking about
okay.
Xbox On. These guys actually are talk about shit on the thumbnail and stuff. So basically, we're talking about Xbox One releasing a video
And they
of the
don't lie.
2023 releases, right? And they did state in the video some exclusives information or some details regarding Windows and things like that. Also, Starfield's support stage page is live, and they did actually say that the game is still targeting the first half of 2023.
Mm-hmm.
So as of right now, Starfield, yes, probably the biggest game of 2023, is going to come out in the next 6 months, hopefully.
Yeah.
And
By
that's,
June.
that would be nice, right?
It'd be fucking fantastic.
Barry.
Can't wait.
Yep. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to see it. I want to see more of it. I want it to release, and it's gonna have bugs. It's Bugthesda, but goddamn, do they make some good games?
Yeah.
And we're looking forward to them. They're gonna be expansive, huge. I'm just looking at release windows because that something me and Hargeet were doing in the party, just kind of talking about the games coming out in the next 6 months, and it's insane, man. There's a lot of stuff coming out, and do they want to avoid Zelda, which is going to be a Game of the Year contender easily? Do they want to avoid?
Are there
some
people
of these
that actually
other
think they
games?
want to avoid Zelda, though?
I mean, yeah, some people do think they should avoid.
Where
Zelda.
are these people?
Everywhere.
Point
Look in
them
the
out
chat.
to me, boy.
Look in the mirror.
Look,
They're
ain't nobody
grabbing
scared of
stuffed
Zelda.
animals
Ain't nobody
somewhere.
scared of Zelda. Nintendo's competing with themselves, and I think they can exist together. Obviously, right? I mean, Zelda comes out one day, cool. Every Nintendo fan in the world's gonna go buy it. Everything else comes out, and they're talking about something else.
I was gonna say Zelda didn't come out when Horizon Forbidden West dropped, and I was.
I'm just saying it was Elden Ring, and Elden Ring, everybody was like, yeah, we're looking forward to it,
Yeah.
but they're
look,
niche, and
look,
then
now-
fucking blew up.
Yeah,
I
on every
think
platform.
2 games can I think you can drop 2 games the same month and not have a big issue. If it's a good game, it's going to sell. Bottom line, it doesn't matter, when it drops.
agree,
If
but I
it's
don't think
good,
they'll
it's
do
going to
that.
sell.
Say what,
And
Tim?
it's Bethesda.
I think they're going to strategically place this. We spoke about this 2 weeks ago. I remember I was kind of like Redfall's the last one to come out.
Yeah.
Well, recent news come out that it's coming out in May, which slots May. I think that makes sense. So strategically, where can they put Starfield? In June, you have a couple of dates. You have Final Fantasy 16 that's coming out, and you also have Diablo 4 coming out. So that kind of puts a question mark in this whole thing. I think it's definitely going to be ready within the 6 months. But where can they strategically put it? Now you got to look at the dates.
I
I
One
think
out-
they'll push it back as far as possible, which is June, if they're going to release.
well,
it in
that's
6
what I
months.
think. I think that's what they're gonna do. But then you have, like I said, do you want to bunch it in the middle of Diablo 4 and Final Fantasy 16? Do you want to just come out the day Final Fantasy 16 comes out, which I believe is like the 22nd?
Well,
towards
one
the
thing
end of the
you have
month?
to realize is Xbox has something that these other companies don't, which is Game Pass. And
Yeah.
dropping your games whenever another game drops is not that big of a deal with Game Pass. It really
Yeah,
isn't.
that is a good point. So I think June or maybe July 4th, possibly. I was joking around about that because it's a significant date. It's a Tuesday. But obviously that could draw some ire because it's out of the 12 months. But I do think that they like everyone else have I think the 3 games are definitely coming out in the 6 months. So I don't think there's going to be delays on any of these.
Yeah.
So just now it's just a matter of placement and where can they go. And it looks like Redfall's going to fall to May. I think they had their druthers. They would have probably liked Redfall March, the way it's supposed to be. Forza April, and then Starfield May. Now this kind of throws a little bit of a loop into there.
We will see.
I
Well,
don't
that's
think
the thing.
I
They
don't,
have
I
to
don't think they're going to put 2 Game Pass games in a month together.
Yeah,
though.
they have to watch out for themselves. That's what I was going to
Right,
get at.
right.
And now it's like they've got to just release these games, and be careful when they release them because they're going to be releasing some of them on top of each other. I don't think that'll happen.
Right.
That's why I was saying like when we learned that Redfall's getting pushed a little bit, and if it is in May. Will they push a game like Starfield out in June, just a month later?
Well,
I don't
was
know
it
if they
ever
would do
really
that.
actually pushed, right? That was something that an internal leak,
Yeah, I
internal
know,
date was
but
pushed
I
back.
just
It's like
don't-
that could have been the date the whole time. I do want to give a shout out
Yeah.
to Kiss Move, who says it can survive Final Fantasy 16. No one is scared of that trash. The big shout out to Kiss Move in the chat. Also, guys, do you think it's actually scared of anything? Why would you're talking about Starfield here, right? Why
Yeah.
would Starfield give a fuck about anything else?
Yeah,
Everything else
it's
needs
Bethesda,
to get
man.
the fuck out of the way for Starfield. That's how this
Yep.
works, right?
The power of Bethesda compels you, people.
Yeah, and it
I
is
guess-
in
I
Game
guess the
Pass. That's a
problem
good
is
point.
that they
Is
didn't
that it
have
is,
it
hang on,
locked. They
motherfucker. I
haven't
ain't done one sec. Shit. It's in Game Pass. That's a good point that was brought up, right? Everyone's going to be playing this game. Everybody's experienced it where a game is Game Pass and you just paid for something that's brand new that's not in Game Pass, and you might have found yourself playing something that's in Game Pass because, again, it doesn't affect the quality of the games, but that's already been proven 1,000 times. So, did they move it or will they move it? Are they afraid of Zelda? Are they afraid of Final Fantasy? 100%
Ain't
not.
afraid of shit.
No way. Not happening. Zachary, what were you saying?
No, I was saying like the only problem is that they haven't locked a date down. So all these games like May does have like, Zelda, Resident Evil 4 and Suicide Squad. Like these aren't small fucking games. Like Zelda sold 30 million units or close to.
On Nintendo.
Like if you're
yeah.
yeah, on Nintendo and exactly just on Nintendo.
Yep.
Like people like in a recession are not going to drop $60, $70 and then get Game Pass or get this or buy the game on PC or console, whatever. Like I do think that April is the date to drop it.
Here's the
like,
thing.
Like
No,
April doesn't have
I
that
disagree.
much of big stuff.
I
Like,
disagree.
understand.
I disagree. Here's why. Let's say it drops alongside Breath of the Wild 2 or whatever it's called, the Zelda game. It drops the same month. You know what happens? People, if somebody really wants to play Zelda, they're going to buy that game. But if they really want to play Starfield as well, they're going to get Game Pass and play it on there, even if it's just for a month. They're going to do it.
Yes, but I'm not talking
Game
about just
Pass
sales.
It's a huge thing here though for Xbox. It's really a big win for everyone because honestly, they don't need to worry about dropping at the same time as this or that because their games are going to do well regardless. There's going to be at least 20 plus million people, 25 plus million people playing in Game Pass day one.
I'm just saying that they want this game to be the most played Xbox game or Bethesda game ever,
Mhm.
and I think it needs its time in the light. I think that
Well,
even
well,
if you
by that
bring
they
it
mean
around
cloud
there,
and mobile. It's
I
gonna
mean, yeah,
launch
I know
there.
that. I know that, but what I'm saying is that I want Starfield to stand on its own for like a week or two, where people are like just hyped as fuck about it. Like I don't want another or like a situation where they screw themselves over because Zelda is like taking some of that away, or another game is taking it
Come on,
away.
you think Link is going to run up and be like, "Hey," and people are going to
Oh,
put
I'm
down
just saying,
fucking.
man. Yeah,
Come
don't
on.
underestimate that.
Put it this way,
Failed Pyromancer just said in the chat that
Oh,
Starfield
God.
doesn't exist outside of Twitter. What are you smoking,
He's a
dude?
moron.
Shit.
Failed,
Sorry
we
about
know
that, Failed.
We know Failed is a Sony fanboy. Anyway, listen. Listen, Zorka. If I agree, if they could get April or they could get March, they would. They would. But the thing is that would only be 4 months of dev time compared to 7. Let's say. So, in my opinion, they're going to elect as a developmental team to take the most time. But you're right. If they could get it in a good position in April, that would be perfect. I just think that they're going to take the time that's given to them or that's allotted to them to the extent they could have maybe put it in May, but now May's off. They're going to take it in June. But I agree, if they could get it in March or April, that'd be
Yeah,
huge.
I think April's the best one to me. At least that's just to me. I'm not going to
Yeah.
underestimate anything else. You never know what can happen. Like people underestimated freaking Elden Ring, and it ended up breaking into the masses. Everybody like the From Software, like the most they've ever had played was like 800,000 people concurrently, and that jumped up to like or less than that. I think it was 300,000, and it jumped up to like 3 million.
That's a
on
little
Steam.
different though. That never had that kind of draw before, and I don't think it was that people underestimated it. Is that people didn't had never
I think
really
Sony
enjoyed
did.
a Souls. Well, Sony, hell, they were hoping it would do good. That's how they make all their money, right? All the sales from third party games. Basically, I don't think Zelda or any other franchise is going to affect Starfield. It is the thing that affects everything around it at this point, and it will only get bigger in the next 6 months. Especially with the fact that everyone's going to be playing this damn thing. Everyone. So launch it on mobile, cloud, Xbox, PC all at the same time, and that will kind of serve to benefit them in that way as well. Zelda, not saying it's a bad game. It's for certain people out there. But if you ask me if it's going to affect Starfield or anything like that, no, especially when it's not even in the same genre, and there's just a lot of things that I don't think would even begin to affect it.
It's just open world to me. That's why I connect them. I think people might have fatigue.
This is
with
open
these
universe.
massive things.
Well, from I'm hearing, the game is absolutely huge. Like
I don't understand why people think that open world. I don't know. I
So,
don't get the open world
I
fatigue
do.
thing.
I do
don't.
think
I
that it's a
love 'em.
game. I do think it's a game. If you're a gamer that likes a lot of stuff in it or a huge, vast amount of things, for me sometimes it get overwhelming. But yeah, I heard like really, it's like it put it this way. I heard that if you thought Elder Scrolls was big, this is that's playtime to this. That's how huge of a scale this game is. Obviously, some of it's procedural worlds and stuff, but I do know that some people are playing the game, and
They like
that's
it.
why that's a big milestone. Once when you have your software out there and people are playing it, and usually it's like a 6 to 12 month thing where your game is going to come out in good shape.
There's a reason they're
Well,
playing
I
right. They're
just-
playing like the final build, and they got to polish and stuff like that.
Right.
I do
So
want
it's
to.
like-
I do want to give a shout out real quick to almost 1,000 people already watching this live, guys. Hit the like button. Tell a buddy to we're live. We do appreciate you. The fact that you guys spend your time with us. Seriously, thank you, Zucker. I want to get what you what you were gonna say. And if D-Batch got something, then we got to catch up on these chats. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was about to just jump into the chat, Jackson.
Oh, okay. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
no, I got something to say on this.
Yes.
Real quick. I'm looking forward to this game just for the simple fact that it is an open world sci-fi game. For me personally, ever since Mass Effect, I've been jonesing for a type of game like this. So I think it's going to do well. I understand some people's fatigue in open world games. Some open world games, it gets really repetitive if you're doing the same thing all the time, just painted a different color. It can make that open world really dull. So I understand some people getting cold feet on that. I don't think this game is going to be one of those games. Bethesda, like them or hate them, their games are pretty vast. So I'm expecting this game to be a banger, and I think this game's going to do really well. I think it's going to be one of their most successful games. I think after Fallout, I think people want to see them rise back up to the top, and I think this is the game that can take them there. So personally, I think it's going to do well. I think it looks fantastic. And yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be a good thing for Game Pass. I think it'll move some numbers on the PC side, on the Xbox side, and I think it'll move some consoles. So it's good for the platform.
Good point.
Yeah.
Also,
Let
I
me
wanted
jump
to
in,
point out again, everyone in the chat, the mods, Boss Mod, Leader Pop, all the moderators, and all the awesome people we always see in the chat every week, guys. Thank you very much. Hit the like button and tell everybody to we're live. Zachary, go ahead.
Yeah, so I'm jumping into one of these chats since it's kind of on topic. I know we go through chats and they're not on topic, so I'm going to jump into this one. Hargeet says, just to put things in perspective, Starfield is new gen only. Xbox may have like 22 to 23 million consoles. They won't get all the consoles playing Starfield. PC will help, but Zelda has over 120 million consoles.
That's true. But you
That-
gotta throw in mobile and cloud and all that stuff in there. They do plan on launching all that stuff at the same time.
Yeah. And then I'll scroll up. All right. So
But
thanks, Hargy, again
Hargy's
for
got a good
these.
point there. It's a massive franchise. I ain't trying to take nothing away from it. I'm just saying, usually somebody's really looking forward to that. Even if they're on the same damn day, that's not a problem to me, right? I'll play both if I really want to, but I just don't think it's going to be an issue. I don't think anyone's running away from.
And
yeah.
the last time I looked on like the most wished for game on Steam or whatever, they do that ranking system thing. It was only behind one game, and it was Hogwarts Legacy, and that's Hogwarts Legacy. I mean, Harry Potter's huge. I get it. But yeah, Starfield is up there. People really are excited for the game. So it boggles my mind when people always bring up, oh, well, if you ask the common gamer, like, your average guy who barely plays anything every year, maybe plays Madden or whatever. Yeah, I understand. He may not know what Starfield is, but damn, most gamers do.
Yeah, it's behind the Hogwarts Legacy and The Day Before, and then it's Starfield's number 3.
What platform is this?
Steam. It's the Steam wish
Y'all
list, like
never
people
know
that
what
do.
good games are over there anyway, damn it.
At least they get games.
Yeah,
Anyway,
touche.
so let me try from the top. We got Outbreak Gamers. He says, Dealer, do you know anyone playing Starfield?
I know Phil is. We all know that, right? Something?
Yeah.
Yep.
Of course he is.
All right, so we got Face 23 Brooklyn. He says, if the Activision Blizzard deal ain't done by June, then it's a high probability Microsoft might walk away from buying Activision.
Damn you, Face 23 Brooklyn in New York. Damn
Who
you.
knows? Who knows anymore, right? We got
Ace out gamer.
Ace Out Gamer. He says, I was about to say ass out because he talked shit about me.
Ass out,
Hey, Dealer, did you tell Zocker about a game you thought Zocker would like called PC Building Simulator?
He sent that to me on Xbox, and I
Is
just
there
said,
really a game like that?
That's so funny that you
course
guys
there
say
is.
that. I actually bought that
does it
yesterday.
daily.
Oh
I
my
bought
God.
it yesterday. It's on sale on the Epic Store, and believe it or not, it's pretty fun. And I'm actually finding it helpful for the builds that I do. Like if I want to experiment, I don't got to experiment with my money. I can experiment with how it's going to look and perform by doing it in the game. I can't lie. I know it sounds really weird to have a PC emulator on the fucking PC.
Hold up.
It's
So are you
Anybody-
but it's actually
benchmarking on
pretty
there?
fun.
Are you
What?
benchmarking on there?
You can benchmark on there. Yes, you can.
Wow.
He's got ray
that's
tracing.
crazy. Oh, dude,
Listen,
that's
if anybody talks
D-Batch's
shit about
dream
that-
game. That's his
If,
dream
if
game.
anybody
fuck.
talks shit about that game, D-Bash, just look whoever paid Power Wash Simulator and tell them to shut the fuck
Well,
up.
there we
That's
go.
true.
Or at least
Or-
they didn't
That's
buy
true.
that, most likely.
Everybody
or what's
just
that one? My Daddy. What's that game called?
That's your
Shower.
game, D-Bash. You leave that in your personal life.
Boyfriend
Hey,
Dungeon. Shout out to
Gaming
to
Forte.
the homies.
If they
Gaming
put
Forte.
that PC builder on Game Pass, people would play it. Don't lie.
Yeah, and
In all
You know-
honesty, you can
and
build
it
any PC
passes high on life. It's like,
you can build any PC that you want. Like it's realistic. Like you have to
Oh,
keep
man.
all the connections. Like it's
becoming
pretty
an
fucking
innie
cool.
as you speak. We must. We must.
I want to. I
Move
actually,
forward.
even as a PC gamer, I want to die listening to. Let's move on. We got Face 23 Brooklyn, New York. He says Zelda and Resident Evil 4 remake will overshadow any game that comes close to them.
Oh God, come on, Fraser. You were just onto something last week or something, and now you're saying this. Trying to give you credit for something.
I would agree if we're talking about paying $70 for a game and paying another $70 for another game coming out that same week.
I
or
disagree.
whatever. I would agree with that for some games, but I think Starfield is different. I think Bethesda holds a lot of weight. I think you guys are very you're underestimated the power of Bethesda, man. You're underestimating.
So you
them.
really disagree because he said it will overshadow anything.
Yeah. I disagree with that.
Okay, just to be clear, go ahead, sir.
Ultimately, I disagree with that. I agree if for some games, not Starfield, but for some games, let's say Horizon Forbidden West, $70. Yeah, it'll be overshadowed.
You
by
really hate that
anything.
game so much, and I like
No,
it.
I'm just it's just most games that I think will do it. Even games I don't hate, but
I know. I'm just
they'll
fucking
get
with you.
overshadowed.
Let
But
me jump into
Starfield,
some of these.
Bethesda holds a lot of fucking weight.
Mhm.
People are underestimating this game hugely.
It's
And
very
it's
few
mostly
people that
ponies
are
that are doing it.
underestimating them.
It's really the loud minority, a lot of these ponies and stuff that are doing this. It's weird.
He said ponies.
So we got Space Dovakin. I have a lot, so I need to get through these. We got Space Dovakin. He says Switch is struggling big time with current games. Zelda is going to suffer from that.
Oh shit! Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think that we got to see what their first party can do. We got Me Puppet 007. He says the only thing that matters in Starfield is that it's a quality game that's ready to go. I think most people will get in from being from Game Pass because they don't want to spend a $70. Zocker's a fraud. We love turtles.
Thank you very much, Meat Puppet.
Yeah, we got Danny. We got Danny Patchett Official. He says, it's funny how everyone on this panel always said that Starfield wasn't included on the 12-month launch window, but now it is. Happy 2023. No, we just
Danny, that was me. That was me. Okay, I said I'm not 100% confident that it'll launch in the first 12 months, and you know what? Until it does, it doesn't. No, I'm just kidding.
And if it does, fuck yeah. Hargeet, which Thanks, one Danny. I read already, and then we got Eric 83 for the last one. It's a bummer that Starfield gonna be 30 frames per second. Why you gotta bring shit up like this?
Why you gotta say that, Eric? There's no proof of that
whatsoever.
What
the hell, Eric? Yo, Lethal, ban Eric.
No, shout out to Eric, even though you're a Raiders fan or whatever. And
is he really?
Big shout out to.
Oh God, it is a Raider picture. Hey, bitch. Niners took them cheeks.
Yeah, leave cheeks alone. And also shout out to getting us closer to 1,100 people watching live, guys. Hit the like button. Tell a buddy if you were live. We do appreciate you. It's a lot of stuff. Yeah, everyone's allowed to have their own opinion, but yeah, Starfield, it is the thing it is the thing that knocks in the night, or whatever the fuck that guy said on Breaking Bad, right? So
one thing I did type it in the chat, but I'll say it here too. For people that are listening, I do feel that though the biggest game of the year selling wise, I think will be the Zelda game. I think it'll sell the most.
Really?
Yeah, I definitely because it's just a huge game.
I legitimately think, and this is kind of like out there, I think Hogwarts is going to sell the most. I just saying, Harry Potter's fucking world renowned. It's massive.
Look, we know you got a wand in real life, and we know you got one of those.
I'll give you a wand, bitch.
It's broken in half. Or what's wrong?
I had made it weird. There's a lot wrong with it, but you'll like it.
Ubisoft, they're also making an open world Star Wars game. I know some of y'all might have known that, but what you didn't know is that they're also going to have a bunch of microtransactions and stuff like that. And I wish I could say I was surprised, but I can't.
I mean, most of these microtransactions don't ever affect the game. Like, it's just cosmetic shit.
Yeah,
like
usually.
That's all. Like, and I'm fine with that. Like, you bought a Pegasus that doesn't fly.
That's true.
So if the game is good, I don't care about all these microtransactions and shit.
Actually,
microtransactions. There's a Pegasus that does fly in the Harry Potter game.
Listen, there's a
first of all, it's a Griffin.
The thing behind microtransactions is like Fortnite, right? Like nobody's buying a Fortnite skin if the game's not good. Usually the game, if it's quality, people are willing to then extend. Hey, I don't mind throwing a little bit more cash towards a game. I'm really enjoying it. But a bad game isn't going to survive or really make much on microtransactions. So it really, the entire success of this depends on if the game's good. And if Ubisoft actually drops the damn game. How long's it been?
Dude, I was just going to say that they're one of the people like Xbox that 2022, they just slept. Like they just were like, nah, we don't got nothing. Pandora was supposed to come, or the Avatar Pandora or whatever was supposed to come out in late this year. Then they're like, never mind. Late.
We saw the movie, and the movie was really just too much.
I haven't seen it.
Too much, just a waste of like an hour in there. Didn't need to be there. We're not bringing out the game this year. That's what they were thinking.
The first one was overrated, so I'm not.
Let's hope that Ubisoft brings out a good Star Wars, because I like their open world games. I like a lot of Ubisoft games.
What are you going to do if you're playing Avatar and you fly up to a little chest and you open it and it's a blue mittens to give you +5 dexterity?
First of all, they wouldn't be mittens. They'd be like the little
First off, you'd be like, I need some smaller gloves. I got some baby hands. And then
I don't know what that game's going to be about. They just need to show it. But as for the Star Wars one, I don't know. I'm excited for Star Wars.
What if it's just a direct movie tie-in?
Like Star Wars Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that game was fire. I don't give a fuck. I like that game back in the day, man. That shit was fun.
Yeah. I mean, we were kids.
Now Kith.
Yeah, we were. Now Kith.
Now Kith.
Now Sith.
Now Sith.
Stupid.
So, we spoke of Elden Ring earlier, and we don't have any information on the Star Wars game. We just know that Ubisoft they're making it, and they're French, and we wish them the best of luck. Also, Elden Ring.
Wait, what?
You didn't know they were French?
Yeah, they are French, but why you got to throw that in there?
Because I admire the French for their willingness to make Star Wars games.
You're such
Yeah.
Why do you
Me
guys
too.
have to? Why you got to point that out? Anyway, Elden Ring, it surpassed The Last of
we
Us
were
2.
asking you, buddy.
Listen, I don't have to
Anyways.
answer nothing, none of this shit. I thought it was funny.
He pleads the fifth, people.
Hey, yeah,
It was.
Elden
It
Ring
was. He
surpasses
played
The
the
Last of Us 2 as the most awarded game of 2022. And this made some people cry on Twitter abundantly. Toilet
Why?
paper was needed, Tim Dog.
Yes. It
Yes.
was needed.
You sound like you just rolled into the room. Yeah.
I've tried to get this motherfucker to talk. So I guess we can get him to talk in this next one, which is far more interesting.
No. Elden Ring deserves every single fucking award it got. What did it beat?
I just said it.
Last. Is that why people are crying? Because it's Last of Us, really?
Yeah.
Trust me. Elden Ring is fucking 80 times the game that Last of Us 2 is. Get over it.
That's fucked
Move
up.
along. Elden Ring's one of the greatest games ever made. You shut your mouths.
That's real toxic, as Ace Out Gamer says.
Elden Ring
And
deserves it,
it's
you
Game
know?
of the Year with Bill Clinton as a cameo. Back up.
I love graphics more than anyone here. You guys all know that.
Oh, shit.
I prioritize graphics. That said, you know, you got to give it to Elden Ring. It was a much deeper game, and it captivated the whole gaming community. So, like, I don't even think you can compare them. Like, Last of Us Part 2, sure, it's a good game. It looks fantastic, but there's nothing groundbreaking in it, right? There's nothing that's extremely memorable per
That's
se.
right.
You know,
I mean,
once you
I don't know about
I don't
that.
know about that. There's a few memorable scenes.
You ever
like
seen
watching-
somebody get taken on a
Okay.
boat, D-batch?
You ever see a you ever
big
seen somebody
woman
that's
just-
a veteran in the harsh world?
You ever
just go in
seen
the middle of
kneecaps
a
explode
room
off someone's leg?
and get golf clubbed up his ass? Like that dude.
I
Got
got to be honest, that game I'm like maybe 50-60% through. I've kind of waiting for it to come to PC. I just got tired of playing it the way it was. So
I beat that game.
Mm.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was okay. The combat and the gameplay are top
It was
notch,
fun.
but
Yep.
the story was freaking terrible.
Look at these two turning it into
Lame.
why they hate a game again.
Lame.
They're like, look,
Story
you
was
killed a
bad.
dog that you like. How do you feel about it? Bitch, you didn't give me a choice.
Yeah. You
Spoilers.
killed a
Don't
pregnant lady.
Spoilers.
Now, listen, one
Yeah.
time I had a 20-minute battle with the dog in that game, and he was real clever. I was juking back and forth, so was he. Some name calling happened, and eventually it ended in one way. I didn't want to do any of it, for the record.
Bark, bitch.
I didn't want to have to do none of it, but I had to, and the game made me. And I'm a big animal person, but even
Same
me,
here.
somebody who, when I see something like that happening on Twitter, when somebody shares the fucking animal abuse shit on Twitter, and it pisses me off. I'm a grown human with at least somewhat of a brain. I'm like, well, I understand what they're going for
debatable.
there, and I'm not going to be offended about this type of shit. It does happen, and it does leave you with something in a game that you can't really forget. Battling a dog for 20 minutes, but again, we weren't even talking about Last of Us. It beat Last of Us. Elden Ring,
Yeah.
it's a good game and stuff, but we can
Great
go
game.
to a far more interesting topic. Besides
please.
Xbox UK saying they're going to take the year off to play games, which, again, far too soon to be saying that shit. You just did that,
No.
basically. Fable. Now, there's a rumor going around.
Did you
Oh,
say table?
yeah.
Table?
Table.
We're talking about
Yes.
tables?
Table flip.
I mean, the game
IKEA
is tabled. The game is tabled.
Now, there is a rumor. It started from fucking 4chan. This is what I don't get, though, is there's people actually... Now, again, I ain't taking away nothing from anyone that's might believe this, or maybe they get their opinion on it, and they're... Jez Corden, for example, said he wouldn't be surprised if it's true. That doesn't mean it's him saying it's true, okay? For one, a lot of people fell for that. And secondly, the rumor is that Fable has been restarted and is being rebuilt
I saw
for
that.
Unreal Engine 5 after a ton of development issues and all this bullshit. They're saying that it's unplayable. And again, we'll get into why that's not the case, most likely.
People in the chat are saying shout out to Gaz. No, Gaz didn't say that either. Gaz said
Fucking
that there was
Tim.
some...
Yeah.
Gaz said that there was development issues going on with the game, but he
No.
never said they switched engines
He
or
said the
started
scope
over.
change. He said the scope change.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, he
that's
didn't
why
say they
Gas
started
clarified on
anything
Twitter
over.
because people were giving him credit for something he didn't say.
I'll just
Um,
say real quick, don't take anything from 4chan. I should know the best. When I first started, they gave me that 4K Switch rumor, and I would take it with a huge grain of salt, anything that comes from 4chan. And to be honest with you, for it to be in developmental hell, like how they're describing it, I think is very, very unlikely.
Yeah, we're not saying that it hasn't had scoping. I mean, I've talked to a member of the team about the scoping thing and all this stuff, and that's part of literally every single game where they figure out what's going to make it in. Go watch any documentary about a game, and there's 1,000 ideas that Barlog couldn't put in God of War 2018.
There was one documentary that was really good where Guerrilla Games was talking about how they couldn't put flying in their game because of the PS4 limitations.
Mm-hmm.
But then they put it on their second game on the PS4.
Yeah, which is exactly what I said they would fucking do. 2 years later, software gets better.
I know.
Blah,
I'm
blah,
just
blah, blah,
fucking
blah.
around.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying
I just
that
like to throw.
again.
I like to throw that
No,
game under the bus.
listen,
I want to
any chance
finish
can
reading the
get.
bullet points for the damn Fable thing. Okay, the Fable thing. They say their most current build, the new Fable, was deemed unplayable in quotations, right? Then they said basically starting from scratch because of Forza Tech. That's why it was unplayable. They said it would never see the light of day and all this bullshit. They're switching to Unreal Engine 5 or whatever. And again, there's been some people running with this. And a lot of people on Twitter thinking this is actually true. Tim, I know you might be on the fence about this. I'm wondering why.
Listen, I was on the fence about. I remember that Gaz had his report, which wasn't. I wanted to give him credit for. At the time I dismissed him. So I kind of wanted to do that, but it came off the wrong way, where it looks like I was associating him with this. That's not the fact. He had nothing to do with this one. I just listened. Jez has heard a lot of things, and then this came up. I'm just like thinking that there's a lot of smoke. There must be fire. But looking into it and just kind of really honing in on it, it doesn't make any sense because they say that they're rebooting the whole thing, but then they say in the same sentence that they're still gunning for 2024, holiday, which I do believe is the date that they're looking to come out. I listen. I think there's some probably stuff that's going on, but it's getting misconstrued, and I think that probably 4chan took what Jez said, and they just probably waxed poetically and made up shit. So at this point, I don't think it's true. I do think that Fable is definitely had its share of problems or scope issues or, listen, Fable in 2018 they were purchased. It's 2023. We haven't heard an update or anything. So there is a little bit of a little bit of trepidation there, I would think, but
Forza has gone like a similar amount of time, and we haven't really heard much, right?
Right, but this is now 4 years going on 6 years into development.
Same for Motorsport, though.
Yeah, well,
that's what I'm saying. Like it's a car game with tracks and iterative.
At this point, what I've heard is it used to be a 4-year cycle to make video games, and now that these games have gotten bigger and more intricate, it's now like 6 years. So if it doesn't come out in 2024, or we don't hear anything in 2024, I do think that maybe something that has went wrong here. But if it does, we get a release date, or we say we get something concrete, then I think that they've worked through some issues. But it is getting to a point where I do think that you want to start to get some kind of something back, just to hear that it's on some type of track.
I do want to say something.
That's
Tim.
all I feel on the situation.
Yeah.
I do feel it's going to come out in they're still gunning for 2024.
So you think 24, right? And then, like you said, that'll be 5-6 years or 7.
We're closing in. I think if they don't
it's like 6 years basically. If it comes out in 24, right? Basically, they started hiring in late 2017. So that's the same period between God of War Ascension and God of War 2018. That's a similar period.
I thought that was 5 years.
It's 5 or 6 years, yeah.
It was 5 years for God
Again,
of War,
it's for a well-known IP that the team had already had a ton of experience working with. This is a brand new team working on an IP they never worked with that have to set a foundation for something that's got to compete. So, I mean, I'm not saying that it should take that long. I'm just saying that if it does, I'm not going to say that it's burning somewhere.
If it's truly a quality game, it's going to take that time. It's going to take that long. Right. If you think about all the big quality games coming from some of the bigger AAA guys out there, developers out there, like even Rockstar, you know, they took 8 years to make.
And the
Red Dead
pandemic
2.
hit too in between when it started and now,
And,
right?
and
So
this
that adds
had
a
nothing
year.
to do with the pandemic,
true.
but Red Dead 2 took 8 years. And are people complaining that it took too long? No, it took what it took, and it was amazing. So I can wait for quality games, but what I can't tolerate though is, let's say it takes 6 years. This game comes out and it's not really that, you know, there's not that quality. There's not that polish to it. I'm not saying that'll happen, but I'm saying if it does come out and it's not very good, it's going to be like, what did you waste 6 years on here? That's what I don't want to happen.
I do think
Because
that,
we've seen some games do that.
not to interrupt you, but I want to say I do think though with Fable they have extra, you know, they are handling it with extra care, because I don't think exactly what you just said. I don't think they're gonna allow to happen. In this case, they will delay the game to freaking 2026 if they have to. I don't think that they're gonna release a game where it's not up to par, which to me means they're just going to take a lot more developmental time. So I do think that even though 2024 is what you're gunning for, I wouldn't be the least surprised that this isn't a 2025, 2026 title. To be honest,
The thing that
just
worries
because
me,
of what you said, they can probably muster something up and have it ready, but you have to have, you know, they've been talking a big game, and they wanted to have this game to be, you know, to put them on the map as one of the best developers in the world. You can't talk like that and then have a mediocre game.
And Matt Booty did say he was extremely impressed by what he had recently seen from the game, and he wants to show it so bad, but he can't. That's something else
and
to add to that.
because the
These are-
developer said not to show it. But
Yeah.
the one thing I'm like, this thing is all over the fucking place. Like, they talk about this game, like at first it was a secret, the worst kept secret in the world, and then it was announced in 2020, and then we haven't heard anything about it, and then we heard that it looks great and it's one of the best games people have ever seen. The composer or some shit said that, and then there's all this other stuff, and then they're forcing us to use Forza Tech, and that was
Which wasn't them.
like it was just like, okay, what's going on here? And then there's just too much noise going around this game, and I think they just need to show it. I think if they show it
Agreed.
and talk about it and actually are a little more transparent about what's happening, it's going to quiet a lot of these fake dumb rumors, because again, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And that's
Why-
all it is.
why-
Like, it's a different game.
Why are we so like, I don't know. I view it differently. I look at Fable and I'm like, I don't care that it's not being shown. Like, for me,
Well,
this game
yeah.
is a brand new game from a development team that are a quality team, but they've never made something like this. So it's going to take them even more time than some of these other, development houses that make games in that
You got to build
genre.
out the foundation, right? Like the
They've
world.
got,
all
yeah,
that.
that foundation is got to be built. The whole, the scope, the storyboarding, everything. Like they're doing all of this, and it's all brand new to them. So I've never been one to be like pushing. We need Fable. We need Fable. We need Fable.
That's
let
not right.
them
I'm
let
sorry.
them build
What's
the
not
game.
right,
Let
Zachy?
them do what
That's
they're.
not right. This isn't new to them. The people that they hired have made open
Some
world
of them,
games.
yeah.
A lot of them. A lot of the people that they hired back in 2018, we made videos about this. These
That's
are
not what he's saying.
veteran
He's saying
open
that they
world.
got to build out the damn,
But
like
when
Miles,
you-
like
yeah,
Spider-Man
you have-
2018 to Miles Morales, right? They didn't have to rebuild the entire city. They didn't have to do
Exactly.
all this shit, the
God
mechanics,
of War
systems.
2018.
They got to build
Same
up
thing.
everything from the ground up for the first game, and after that, that's when you expect the 3-year or 2-year development.
Yeah,
cycle.
that was again, but Spider-Man came out in 4 years. Like, I understand that we're saying that it's a new team working together. I get all that, and they built a AAA studio from what we've seen, unless they pull a fucking initiative. But they've built a AAA studio that's huge and should be making a game. I think they need to see something. Same with Compulsion. I think a lot of these teams need to start showing some of the stuff that was announced. And the other thing I'm going to say is that I'm annoyed of not seeing it, because you announced it in 2020 as a promise for the Series X. You made it a big thing and a big advertisement, and then it just disappeared for 3 years.
Which one?
Like, going on 3 years. Fable. Like,
Oh.
2020, it was shown in 2020,
You
and
said-
it was like, this is what's coming for the Series X.
And
Like,
is
that
it
whole
not coming for the
2020
Series
show-
X?
It is,
It
but
is.
we haven't seen anything. Like, we haven't seen anything from it at all. Like,
Yeah,
I
I
just
don't know.
wanna
This
see
is
it.
the one game I kind of give. I'm relaxed on. I'm like, let them do their work. I mean,
They
these
showed us
guys,
a frog, Zalker. What else do you want?
No. I mean,
Frog
look,
eating
I
a goddamn
would-
fairy.
don't get me wrong. I would love to see more about it, but for me, I think you got to point to other teams and go, what? Why aren't you showing more of, say, Avowed? Obsidian, you've made games like this forever. Show us Avowed.
I mean, look. I think you guys are expecting too much out of the wrong games.
But 6 years, but again, if Xbox is doing this whole 12-month window now, you're not going to see this game until it's 12 months out at least.
Hopefully
I
they
mean, we
don't
don't
do the
know. We don't
12-month
know
window.
what they're doing. We don't know what they're
But
doing. Last
again,
year
like
they did
Avowed, they haven't
stuff,
shown officially any gameplay. They announced it, but then again, that team's also working on Outer Worlds too, right? Or am I?
Yeah.
I mean,
Right,
are they? I mean, they've maybe they're announcing certain things
I
at the
think
wrong
you'll
time.
see Avowed. I think you'll see Avowed at E3. They're not going to show. They're not. Listen, I don't think you'll see. Put it this way, I don't think you'll see Fable at E3.
Yeah.
I do think you'll see Avowed. I do think that you'll see certain games at E3. But my take on Fable is that people who wanted to, people who are really, and Fonz might be in the minority here, but people who are like chomping at the bit for Fable, you might be in for a little bit of a rocky ride because, like I said, they're not going to release it unless it's a premium quality, and the only way to get a premium quality is with time and development. And 2024 right now is the target. But don't be surprised if that gets backed up. But
I'm with. Yeah, Tim, I'm with you on it, and I see the excitement for it. And I'm not saying you can't be excited for it, and you're not chomping at the bit to see something. But at the same time, like I think that some people have unrealistic expectations, and they think, oh, we need to see that game right now. I mean, again, they are building this from the ground up. Literally, this whole game is being built on a foundation they didn't have. And they've never really worked on this genre. Yes, they've got some developers that came in and are helping them that's worked on similar genres and stuff. But again, they all have to come together, make this game. And I say, just, let them do their work. And when it's time to see it, we're going to see it. Hopefully it looks great. I don't know.
Papa Baco, shout out to him. He says, who cares? Talk about stuff coming out soon. This drought is terrible and unforgivable from Xbox. Again,
Well, don't say that because everybody else is going to get mad at you like they are at Gaz. Well, all these fake ass Xbox gamers.
Well, I mean, again, like that's a certain subset that you got to understand. Like people are allowed to have their own opinions on things, and we've talked to Gaz about that, and he goes pretty hard, and I don't dislike him for that. I don't understand where people go with all that weird stuff and take this stuff too far. But
you criticize anything, man.
I've been doing this shit. I know all about it. Trust me. I've been doing this shit forever. Like, I understand that people turn on you in a fucking snap, or they take shit and they run with it and they don't even know what you actually said. I'm familiar with every bit of it and then some. And at the end of the day, I still learn to maybe consider context, maybe not take everything so personal or so too far over the plastic stuff, and it just gets ridiculous.
They'll always be nuts. I think that Gaz has always proven himself to be an Xbox guy,
but I don't want to put that on the spotlight either.
Yeah, no, but I agree. I think that a lot of people, as in regards to Gaz, he's just frustrated and he's reporting on it. There's nothing wrong with that. I think Xbox kind of really did drop the ball in 2022, and I said that on the tweet because I just feel like ever since the ABK deal, they kind of just their asses went tight, and they just like they didn't say anything, and and I know for content creators, it's been like they didn't do anything for the whole year. Yeah, they had an E3, but other than that, they had an E3 that they basically put a quotation mark the next 12 months with. Which if it's never do that again because people don't want to see that shit. They want to see stuff that could be in the future. So they had a really lackluster year. They did get saved by a lot of Game Pass games that maybe you weren't expecting to hit, like the High on Life and stuff like that. But that doesn't make up for the fact that they definitely had a lackluster year. And if you're in the right to be frustrated as an Xbox fan right now. But like I said, this is my take. At the end of 2023, I do think there's going to be a lot of different takes on how to be. I do think that they really are set up here, and it took a lot of growing pains. But for somebody to say, "Hey, Xbox had a shitty 2022," you really can't argue that. You
Yeah.
know, you got to just kind of say,
And this
yeah.
event
you know.
coming up is going to be a big thing. The early year event, January, February, whatever it is that Jeff Grubb is talking about. Like, I'm just looking forward to seeing some dates drop and giving us a timeline of when stuff is coming. That's all I care about. And then when E3 comes around, show us some
That's
more
when they
stuff
show
and
new
maybe
stuff, yeah.
some new stuff. But also, I want to see what you have for the end of the year.
You know,
Looking forward to all
I'm
this
on the
stuff,
I'm on the
you
train
know.
where like I don't need to see another trailer for something that's more years off.
Yeah,
I just
exactly.
need to
That's-
see.
I don't want
I
that.
need
I
to see
don't
like
want-
what's
I don't
happening with the
wanna
stuff
be-
we've already seen and we already know about. And by the way,
I don't want
On
them to
this
do
show,
the
yeah,
12
me
months.
too.
I don't want them to do that 12-month thing. That was
yeah,
not smart.
yeah. Most people don't, and for good reason. I'm not sure they do either because again, they're a big fan of analytics and they see their analytics. Jen and I, Peter, big shout out to you, man. He says he's been lurking in the chat. Seriously, appreciate you guys that stop by and watch. Xbox International Podcast. Shout out to you guys. Boba Fett Gaming and Bud the Cyborg, as well as the mods and so many others. You guys are awesome. And again, just take people for what it is. It's just an opinion. Some people might be more negative at certain times than others, but at the end of the day, at least they're being honest with you, and that's what people should appreciate a little bit more. I feel like. But again,
100%.
Shout out to over 1,100 people watching this live, guys. Hit the like button. Tell everybody to we're live if you happen to enjoy the show, and just know that, well, me personally, I don't buy this Fable stuff at all, and I would say that, show it when it's ready. It sucks not to have certain things ready when you want, but at the end of the day, what sucks worse is fucking shitty games that come out not done that really step in their own way. They're their own worst enemy by having all these problems and bugs and glitches when they could have just released it when it was ready and shown it at the right time. That's what I prefer. This year, we've actually got things to fill in the gaps, and I mean that. It's not like 2022 or like, it's going to be kind of dry, I think, yeah, this year it's got some stuff, and that's not an opinion. So it's going to be a much better year all around, and that's not even counting third party.
Yep.
Third party's
You got
big.
a lot to look forward to in 2023. Not just Xbox, but PlayStation. Everybody. A lot of great games coming out.
Yeah, and Game Pass is looking really good starting off the year with
Really
Monster
fucking
Hunter
good.
and Atomic Heart
Atomic
next month.
fucking heart, baby.
Oh yeah.
There's a
Can't
lot
wait.
of stuff coming to Game Pass, which looks really awesome.
Yeah, I got a message for somebody. I don't want to say who, but basically was saying, is it right to really promote the Atomic Heart or talk about it because it's from this region, this is happening, and I'm like, I don't decide what people do with their, or what happens there. I'm just talking about video games. That's why we're here. We're not
I
talking
don't get
about
wrapped
anything
up in
else.
politics like that. Yeah. It's
People-
none of our
people-
concern.
Not throwing shade at him. He watches
but
the
you-
show,
you
and we
can't-
appreciate everyone who does. But I'm just
Yeah.
saying that's how it works here. We don't really bring
Right.
out that other stuff with it.
You can't assume a developer is in step agreement of what a government does. A lot of times is the complete opposite. Where people,
Well said. Well
you
said.
know, so you just can't associate that type of stuff. And any
Yep.
type of talk like that, get that shit out of there because developers are people. They have their own opinions, and a lot of times they don't have any kind of power other than to vote, and that's all they have. Other than that, don't associate them with some stupid government. You
Yeah.
know what a government is doing. It's just not fair.
Yeah.
Also to add real quick, not to get too political, if you really do your if you do your fact checking, you would see that most of the people are not for that war, but they can't say anything about it. Most of those
They get
people,
killed.
their
guys-
cousins, their aunts, their uncles,
Man,
their
we're
brothers
getting-
and
we're getting
sisters.
deep
D-Bash,
here.
what are you doing right now?
No,
We
I'm
just-
just saying though, their
Not to get
brothers and
political,
sisters,
but let's get political.
their brothers
They
and sisters
killed if they say
I get what
anything
you're saying, though.
different.
their
D, I
brothers
agree
and
with
sisters live in that country. So
Yes.
let's not just blanket everybody with that. If you want to go against the regime, whatever, but they're not the ones making the game. So
Mhm.
yeah, I agree with
Next
you guys on that.
subject.
Yeah, I mean, and,
Get on
and,
with
I,
it.
and I appreciate D-Batch because he definitely wants to go into the nitty gritty of this stuff, and you can hear it, and I love that. But you know what we're talking about. You know what we're saying. We got to change the damn topic. We can't do that. We got to change the
We're
topic
talking about gaming.
with a
Um,
capital. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and Zach, you want to catch us up on these real quick, and then we can
Yeah.
move forward, man. But again,
Yeah, we got Nano Polymath. He says 2020
Nano.
Samsung sold over 19 million TVs, grew by 54% last year, has over 90% of India market. Game Pass on Samsung TV. So will Starfield be great show, guys? Much love.
damn, thank you,
Nano.
Nano. Good facts.
Yeah, we got Sir X-May. He says Nintendo to make Star Fox Starfield next year. What the hell?
Shout out to Sir
Uh,
X, man.
We got Fire G71. He says, y'all are #1 Xbox podcast panel is all fire. Bring all the different opinions. Joy to listen every Tuesday.
Oh, thank you.
Appreciate you, man.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Thank
What
you.
the hell
I'm
was
all
that,
warm
Tim?
and fuzzy inside.
Yeah,
Nice.
I'm hungry
We got
now.
we got Risket for the biscuit. He says, "What dealer said about gas? Bang on.
Thank you very much,
Hang
Brisket.
on.
Stop banging gas." We got
That's
Danny
weird.
Passion official. Can't wait to play Atomic Heart, Stalker, Redfall, Lies of P. After that, they could delay everything else till
Bro,
2026.
that's some
That
quality
Lies of P
games.
game looks good.
Hey, look,
Bro,
we didn't talk
quality.
about that new Stalker trailer. Or they
Yeah.
did.
Yeah,
They
we
did
did.
actually say
That
2023, which
Stalker.
we expected, of course. But did they anything of note in that Stalker 2 trailer they showed off recently that kind of stood out?
I
It
just
looks
noticed that
really
the Unreal
good.
Engine 5 looks amazing in that game. The lighting,
Yeah,
the
the lighting.
textures, the materials. Even the dialogue is a little bit better than I expected from them, to be honest with you. From what I've seen, it doesn't look too bad. It looks fantastic. It's so clear. I remember watching the initial trailer, and
That one
when
looked
they're in the
amazing too,
forest,
though.
they're in the
I-
forest, and like the air was kind of rippling, like there was like something portal opening, and I saw implementations of that in the gameplay trailer. I was like, wow, these guys nailed it, and I'm so proud of them for all the obstacles that they have to go through creating this game right now for it to still be on track. So I'm really excited for this game, and I think everybody
Yeah.
should have an open
I
mind and
saw-
support these
Now, D,
developers.
I wanted to point something out because I saw some people mention this, and I didn't go back and look myself, but some people were saying that it looked kind of downgraded in some areas, especially when it came to like the lightning effects and stuff. And I don't know, I didn't go back and look at the original trailer, but with this one, the lightning effects didn't look all that great to me either. But
I didn't notice a downgrade, but it was not a like for like situation, so I'd have to really go back.
yeah,
and look at
yeah.
footage. But
that's
from what
true.
I've seen, it looked fantastic. And let's just be honest here: it's not the first time we've seen a game released
Look at dying
and it, and it, and it
Look
falls
at-
a little bit
Look at
short of it.
Forspoken.
Yeah, let's not even
Come
talk
on,
about
be
that.
honest.
Hey, look,
But-
D. The lightning
But
they're
Stalker
talking
2
about.
looks amazing.
The
Stalker
lightning they're
looks
talking
amazing
about is on that
regardless.
electrical grid thing, right?
Right.
That's like a
Yeah.
fucking set piece thing that they had to build and custom make, like, and place it here. And it is the focal point of that entire
Yeah.
scene. And lightning in a random different scene it's just two different things. And we've
Yeah,
seen that in
that's
games
true.
over the years, right? But again, anything over YouTube compression,
But here's the
especially
thing,
smaller artifacts like that, nah.
I think
Can't
one
judge
thing
it.
has to be said though, because this team has literally went through hell, right? I think that people should probably temper their expectations a bit. Like, I could see they might have, maybe they may had to have made some cuts here, or who knows what they. I don't know, but I'm just saying, like, if this game comes out and it's not the best game out there or whatever, I just feel like that maybe it's because of what they had to go through and stuff. I don't know. I don't know what the development was like for
Well,
them, because again, they had to move
Some of the developers
because of the
have died.
war. Some of the developers have died. A lot of stuff has happened with them, and I would just temper my expectations. Like, I'm still looking forward to the game, but I'm not going to go in thinking that this is going to be mind blowing.
Yeah, I mean, I never expected. I know you didn't either, but I never expected it to be mind blowing, and I expected it to be a good time. Like, and I'm not going to change the way I'm looking at it. I think they're going to still build something that's really, really awesome for people that are excited for the game, and I don't think they would release it if it weren't. But ultimately, we will have to see what's going on there. I get what you're saying, though. There are definitely some things that have happened that might have changed some circumstances, but I think it's far late in development to scale much of that or anything like that. So hopefully it's polished.
Yeah, I have no
like it
idea
should
when
be.
they started it. I had no idea, like, what the development cycle was, how many years they took to make Stalker 2. I don't know.
Well, we will see how it ends up. By the way, Monty, he is a pretty interesting super chat here. He says, "Are we going to get proper pit animations and great replays in Forza Motorsport like we do GT7? Probably not, because Turn 10 have always struggled with replays. I don't know why. It's like they glue the car to the side of the camera, attached to a bungee cord, and someone drunk up is holding it with a stick, and then I don't know what's going on there. But GT7 has always had the replay cams. Too bad their physics are from 1997. But yeah, we can move forward a little bit. Shout out to everyone checking us out, guys. There's a lot of people excited for Stalker. Also, there's some people excited for Sony bringing their cloud gaming, and they're partnering up with some people like Netflix and YouTube, and some guys are saying that they're even going to ditch the PS5 for this, which is obviously not true, but it is fun to make fun of. No. there's a lot of information in here with the streaming stuff, which D started to allude to first earlier on the show. Do you think they're going to Amazon, or do you think maybe they'll partner up with Microsoft's mortal enemy, Google or Apple?
It looks like it's right now. It's looking like it's Amazon, and we have to be honest here. The relationship between Microsoft and Sony right now is stressed, to say the least.
You think that
So,
memorandum doesn't mean much right now, huh? From when was that? How many years ago?
Yeah, 2-3 years ago at least, and it's disappointing because from I guess Microsoft's standpoint, they're losing out on a potential customer, which sucks. And then not only is that happening, they're going to one of their competitors, and we can prefer the Xbox platform here, but we have to also acknowledge that Sony is a juggernaut. So them going over to Amazon, it is kind of a slap in the face to Microsoft. And I'm just confused how this all came to be. And personally, I just wanted to hear some insight from Tim on this.
I think honestly they probably had a falling out. I remember when that was happening. I think it was 2018. They had the picture of Satya and the CEO of Sony. I don't know. I remember who was at the time, but
I think it was Kaz, wasn't it? Or
yeah, it was Kaz maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. It don't look like they're. It doesn't look like they. That's probably why there's a lot. They're right now at this point. I think this is a pinnacle of animosity towards each other. They do not like each other right now.
Mhm.
Obviously through the FTC case and all that's went around that, but it also could be also in part that they I had asked, I was like, what the hell's going on? Because I remember it was like 2020, and Sony to this day still hasn't really talked about an option for streaming or an option for any type of cloud. And they obviously should be offering something to, it's 2023. I would think that they would have some type of plan. So in my opinion, yeah, that's probably why they're so behind. They probably refused to work with Microsoft, or something happened where they said bye-bye. And now this is what you're seeing now is that they're probably moving on, and you'll probably start to see a cloud build out of their I don't know how they're going to do it, but they're gonna do something in the cloud, and rightfully so. I mean, when I turn on Xbox and I can't download something, I could play it most times through the cloud immediately.
Yeah.
And there's all types of stuff like that.
I figured they were going to copy Xbox T for T, Tim.
Yeah,
I figured,
I would think that they would do that, but
that's what they've been doing.
Right. It's going to take a long time to implement. Maybe they're in process, but I do think that they're backed up, because I do think that in the original thought process, they would just mimic it. They would have and they would use Azure. And
that's what because when they signed the memorandum, I thought, okay, they're just going to have them put PS5s in the server blade, just like Xbox. And that's the only way you can compete on a real meaningful, true levels, to offer those same conveniences with, similar performance, and all your purchases work and carry through, no extra work through the developers. And that's how Microsoft pulled it off, is by putting actual consoles in server blades. So if they're going with Amazon, this means that, fuck all that. We're doing something else, and I don't know how good that Amazon service is, though. Is Amazon's streaming service any good? Like when they're gaming stuff?
Good. I think it would be good. I don't think
Amazon Web Services is one of the best in the world.
Yeah.
But does it offer the same conveniences?
Like you said, how is it going to be implemented? I don't think it's going to be as robust.
Yeah.
As Xbox.
Was it as good as Stadia?
Oh shit.
They have the same capabilities, as Stadia. I'm pretty sure the latency will be low, but I'm with Tim. I don't know how they're going to implement it. I don't think the implementation would be as good as Microsoft, because they have a big head start on it. But from what I'm hearing from their cloud services, I haven't tried it personally, but people seem to say that it works well. So they're a big cloud provider.
Stadia worked well too.
It'd be highly unlikely that it's crap. Yeah, Stadia worked excellent. The thing that killed Stadia
implementation,
was the damn pricing. The pricing, and not even so much the implementation.
It was though, like really you couldn't buy the games locally. They were fucking more expensive. You couldn't.
Yeah, it was the pricing. It was the pricing.
It was the implementation.
If you owned it, like I said before, if you owned the game, you should have been maybe paying a $10 premium to play it on that service.
None.
Pay for the whole game all over.
You know why? Because that's what Xbox does.
That's what they should have done, or they should have had a subscription-based service like how Microsoft was doing it. Their implementation was bad. I agree. Yes.
Okay. So
I like how we just circled
Yeah,
around.
you just went
came
back,
to the
yeah.
same conclusion.
I was
all
gonna say
right.
it is the
You're right.
implementation.
It's all right. Stadia killed itself.
Stadia murdered itself. I mean, don't get me wrong; it was a great streaming service, and Google has a great service. But AWS, Amazon, they're not going hard where it's like Stadia, where they're having an event and all this shit. Like Amazon's just doing their thing; they're making their own game, and their AWS is amazing. Like I know multiple. Like when I was in school, that's what we used was AWS because it is used by most like most companies. Like they use AWS. So they are going to probably even work hand in hand with Sony to make their shit better.
Aren't those the keys you use
so-
to move around your character on the PC?
AWS?
No, Space
Yeah,
Nova
no, I
King
don't know.
says
You forgot D. AWS
the Space
D.
Nova King
Yeah.
says even the Pentagon use AWS to move their character around. So
Yeah.
shout out to Space Nova King. But yeah,
Again.
I mean, Sony, are they going to ditch console? No, they're not. I don't know why
Yeah, they
people are. I mean, look, they're preparing for a console-less world, and they've talked about it more than anyone, quite
They
literally.
have. They really
Even
have,
though
yeah.
people like to spin it and act like it's the opposite. Sony are doing the traditional way, right? As some people would say in their YouTube videos. Well, they're not. And they're really, really trying not to do it really fast because they know they need to compete on some levels. But it's important for them to remember that console is where their hardcore is. And really, you don't up and abandon a platform like that, which I think they know quite well. But Fonz, you think they're ditching? You think they're ditching?
30%.
No, I don't think they're ditching anytime soon.
Of course not.
No. Consoles will be around for many years. I could see at least 2 more generations of consoles.
Yeah, as long as local performance is better, vastly better than
Put it
any
to you
other
this
type,
way,
it's going to be
people.
that way.
I'll be dead, and there will still be consoles.
Damn. Well, what if you went on like a nice like carrot diet and stuff, and you lived a little
Even
longer?
if I'm 95, there's going to be a console that I will own. By the way, even in my older age.
You're going to be one of the cool grandparents.
Console.
Not cool grandparent, one of the fool grandparents. You know,
Oh shit!
can barely play the shit, can barely see it, probably got cataracts. Who knows?
Oh, Jesus
Well,
Christ.
Well, I like how in
This got
depth you went with that,
mortifying.
and I also like that we have 1,200 people who watch this live. Guys, hit the like button, tell a buddy or two about the show, and let us know your thoughts on everything that we just covered. I think Sony are going to be around for quite a while, and there's been a few updates on the ABK thing, just to kind of get through this. Tim Dog, there was a court case today, right?
It was basically a preliminary hearing before the FTC Judge Michael Chappelle. I'm going to read from our friend IDL Sloth. I'm going to read his.
Idle Sloth, shout out to him.
Idle sloth. Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, Microsoft's preliminary hearing before FTC Judge Michael Chappelle. We expect the UA and UK to settle soon, possibly with remedies, and then go to FCC, and with those results to expedite the FTC resolution. Microsoft's neither EU or CMA has issued a block to the deal. Then Microsoft is also prepared to go to federal court. We assume the FTC would make the decision to go to federal court, and we want to front load the evidential period. Termination date of the deal is July 18th, 2023. Microsoft still expects a resolution or decision in the next few months.
So they still expect something.
Finally, the FTC attorney James Weingarten said the agency has no plans at this time to file a lawsuit in federal court. The FTC authorized staff to participate in settlement talks, but there are no substantive discussions at this time. And that part is probably the most important part of that. Basically, they're signaling that they want to settle. They don't want to go to federal court.
You're talking about the FTC?
Yes, which is a very good thing for Xbox.
They don't want to take that L.
They're like, fuck.
But now this is what before they, remember we had the show. Brad Smith was going down there to negotiate this with them, and they basically said go home. So this is a change of guard, and something that was actually I was sent something that was predicted by somebody that this exactly would happen. So, being that they're subject to the the FTC talks, that they're ready to do settlement, they're basically going to probably follow suit. And I think January 18th is when to look for this. The CMA has its findings and probably a resolution type deal. If EA and if EU and
Ubisoft.
CMA, no, if EU, Europe, and CMA both agree to have settlements, I think the FTC is going to file this, and then I do think that there is a chance that this could be settled by that July 18th due date.
So what you're saying is that Shao-Kahn has been in the knee?
They settle out of court for $20.
Has she been in the knee?
Well, I think. Listen, I think as we
Fatality.
said, the facts don't. The facts and the numbers don't point to their argument. FTC.
Yeah.
So if they go to court, they're gonna lose. So
Yeah.
That's
I've
why
said
they're
that so many
probably,
times that
you know.
they're the biggest hypocrites. Sorry. I'm just
this
I'm
is
fired
more,
up
It's
because
true.
I talk shit.
And like I said, and when I said this is a whole political thing, it was Lena Khan. She wanted to basically, she wanted to basically say we're going to be hard on big tech, and no matter what, even if the deal was even more in favor of Microsoft or whatever, they were going to block it because they just want to tell big tech, no matter what you do, we're gonna fight you.
Yeah, and she's lost pretty much everything that she's led, right, on this front. So
Yeah.
she's lost pretty much all the cases.
5 or something.
Yeah, I mean it's impressive how many
At this
she's
point,
lost.
it's just like they're just puffing their chest every time, and they're trying to like stick it to big tech, and they're not sticking anything. They're just
What?
yeah, they're just puffing their chest.
Bunch of bravado and
yeah.
nothing.
Just a bunch of
No, I was
bravado.
gonna say, but yeah, bunch of bravado and nothing. And I wanted it to go to trial. I know you guys don't want it to go to trial, but I wanted to go to trial just because the evidence just did not support what Sony was saying when they're the biggest perpetrators of what they're accusing Microsoft of attempting to do. And it just doesn't make sense. And when they're all going through the documents and they're looking at all the information, that has to be apparent. And they would look quite foolish, trying to block this deal. So this is a good thing. I'm really happy to hear this news. I'll be honest with you, it's the first time I'm hearing this news from Tim right now. So
Yeah, me too.
I'm elated, but I'm still cautiously optimistic. And I think we should all just take a deep breath and don't be going on Twitter and jumping out the window. Let's just wait until this deal is completed. But it looks good. And like I said all along, Microsoft has every right to do this. They're not even the leader in the gaming industry. So I just don't understand Sony's argument. Like, you can't be number one and then you're saying, hey, this guy's gonna be unfair with competition when you're like freaking number one. Like, get out of here.
And then imagine them saying they're going to raise the price of their hardware when you just did it, or they're going to raise the price of their games when they just did it, or everything else that they're hypocrites on, right? So you're right. It's a lot of hypocrisy. By the way, Danny Passion, he says, no, Stalker 2 not downgraded, different scenario. I happen to agree. He also says, what do you think about NVIDIA Cloud? We'll come back to that, Danny. Remind me, D. And then Legendary Drop says, Amazon Web Service is currently the largest cloud computing service in the world. It would be a big W for Sony to go with him. Yes, that is not in dispute. By the way, shout out to Legendary Drops. Check them out if you haven't. But that's not in dispute. It's the implementation and the experience that Microsoft have doing this. Are Amazon going to be able to execute it like Microsoft? I do not believe they will be able to do it quite like that. And that's really what gives xCloud its edge, right? It's implementation. The fact that you can buy one game, it goes everywhere with you. No extra work on behalf of the developers because it is a console in the cloud that doesn't even know it's streaming to you.
Yeah.
It's,
doesn't
one of those
PlayStation
things.
still have problems with name changes? I mean,
Yeah,
Jesus, like,
I mean, they do. They have a lot of weird, dumb issues like that. By the way, Fire71, he says, if Stalker 2 is anything like Metro Exodus, it's he says he's down. And then we've got one from Risk It. He says the FTC's case is rock solid. They're winning 100%. He's trolling. And we have to say that because some people won't get it. But again, guys, let us know your thoughts. Good signs, as Tim pointed out today, I think. If they're not one to go to war, then, that's...
settle out of court for $20.
Yeah, give Shao Kahn
And a
$20.
40 ounce.
A 40 ounce. There is one last topic here, and I wanted to give this to D-Batch because I know you've been keeping track of a lot of this stuff. And by the way, guys, if you ended up checking out the show tonight, we do appreciate you. Hit the like button on your way out, and again, stick around, outros and all that stuff. But I want to give it a little bonus topic here for D-Batch because a little CES news going on.
D-Batchiest.
A little CES, and some of you guys really care about a lot of this stuff. So some interesting stuff, like with LG's TVs and a lot of other stuff. NVIDIA Cloud, though. Start with Danny Passion Super Chat. What do you think about that, D-Batch?
Well, they're going with 4080s up in the cloud now. So if you basically were on the tier of 3080s for $19.99 a month, you get upgraded for free to the 4080, which is a pretty big deal. A 4080 in the cloud is going to give you 4K, over 120 FPS, or at least 120 FPS. And that's pretty impressive for the cloud. Now, the pricing is another thing. But when you think about it, you're paying $19 a month to rent out a 4080, and you don't have to worry about the CPU.
But you don't own your games, D-Batch.
Any of that stuff. Well, you know what? It's true. You don't own your. Well, actually, some of the
I'm
games.
trolling you. I'm trolling. I'm
games,
just saying what they said about Game Pass.
The games in the video, you do own your games to stream them on GeForce. But nonetheless, I think it's pretty cool. I think to have a 4080 in the cloud on any device is a good thing. If you have a crappy old laptop, you can repurpose it now by using the cloud. Now, the cloud's not perfect. It's not going to be as good as native, but I think it's a good thing. And I think it's moving forward gaming. And I think, Xbox will also follow suit, later down in the life cycle where it'll get more powerful Xboxes in the cloud. And I think this is a part of the future. I don't think that physical hardware is going anywhere, but I do think that cloud will have its place.
Tell us about the 2023 LG TVs, D-Batch.
Okay, now we're talking. Now the
Yep.
LG 2023 OLED is going to be 70% brighter.
Damn.
We're talking 1800 nits. They're using some new technology where they're able to spread
burn your fucking retina. Jesus.
Yeah, distribute the light better on OLED. And if you have an OLED, I love my OLED. It's fantastic. Infinite contrast, infinite blacks, great HDR, great for gaming, instant pixel response, fantastic television. But its Achilles heel was burn-in, which is no longer an issue with pixel shift and all the other features, but was the brightness. It just couldn't get as bright. And that's how kind of the reason why Dolby Vision was invented, to help with these lower nit TVs, to give it dynamic contrast so that you wouldn't be losing HDR performance. Now with it performing at 1800 nits, that is, I could just imagine my eyes on that television with the infinite contrast and 1800 nits.
How much headlights medicine would I need for that many nits?
Oh, I don't know.
A whole bottle?
Yeah.
What about the BRR instant quick media switch stuff that's going on?
Yeah, now this is also very interesting. So basically with this implemented on their LG television, I think it's a C3. I'm not sure all the models that have it, but the models that do have it, it allows instant switching. So when I say instant switching, when you have to switch the input, your screen goes black a little bit, and then
that damn handshake
over it, and it shows you input 3, whatever. It's going to be simultaneously. It's just going to switch over, and that's it. You're not going to miss a beat. It's just it's going to be like a frame. You're not going to see it. It's just going to switch over, which is fantastic. Now, I got to see it in motion, but this is fantastic. And we also have some news on Samsung. Samsung is releasing a QD OLED for 2023 that will reach an eye-searing 2000 nits. So not only is it going to be brighter than the LG OLED, it's 2000 nits. And
okay, but here's the caveat though. I watched that. That's in a vivid mode, which is like the colors are just not accurate at all. The white point is not accurate. When you do make it accurate, it only hits 1300 nits.
Damn it!
But that's gonna be the same for
in a
all
10% window.
All the OLEDs, even LG OLED, when they're doing their calculations, they do it in the vivid mode, which is the brightest mode. But you're gonna still have some highlights that are gonna reach higher than 13 nits for sure. Now, sustained is gonna probably be around 1300 nits. But when you're looking at traditional OLED, you're looking anywhere from 600 to 800 nits. So that 1300 nits, once again, remember, OLED has infinite contrast, infinite blacks. It's just going to be fantastic.
That's a lot of nits, Tim Dog.
I wish LG would just get rid of the white subpixel though, and go QD OLED.
I think they're a little bit behind. okay, I know more things behind the scenes, and the plan with LG was really to keep their OLEDs to go brighter with their OLEDs, but to transition over to mini LED. I think that's still their plan. So I think that's
Wow,
why they're
really?
not concentrating on the QD OLED.
Those
And to be honest with
bastards.
you, LG and Samsung, they hate each other. So I don't think they want to adopt their things, just like Samsung doesn't want to adopt Dolby Vision. There's a lot of
Because
things
when
behind the
you look
scenes.
at QD OLED side by side to a W OLED, it's big difference. The
Yeah,
colors
it's
are
a-
just more saturated, vibrant, more depth.
Just turn up
and
your
your white-
color on your TV, Fonz.
and your whites are more white, whereas with an OLED, it's still white. Don't get me wrong, but it has a kind of a bluish tint to it. Whereas you don't experience that on a QD OLED. Now you wouldn't notice this unless they were side by side,
Yeah.
but side by side it is apparent. And QD OLED is the future. I'm just really surprised that with OLED technology they've gotten over the hump of getting it over 800 nits, because like when it was hitting 800 nits we're like, oh wow,
Them
800
bitches is
nits.
catching on fire.
Yeah, now it's getting as bright as an LED, approaching the brightness of a mini LED, and that is fantastic for OLED, because in my personal opinion, OLED is the best technology you can get.
Yeah,
The only
I
pitfall
agree.
was the brightness. Now mini LED is
It's
a
great.
very, very, very close second. It is a very close second.
Yeah, but you
just
still get the
technically,
haloing.
it's not as good.
Oh,
the
damn it. The
blooming.
Halo, fuck.
Yeah.
You still
you
get the
gotta-
blooming and the
Look,
haloing.
for
and
everyone that don't got
that's
LED
that-
or OLED, like, trust me, any of these fucking TVs gonna blow your mind if you're upgrading, like, to an OLED of any kind.
Oh, I saw
You're gonna be
one that
happy.
was like somebody had like a 90-inch mini LED. I forgot who had it, but it looks freaking amazing. And yeah, you
What-
get some blooming with it, but it's not that bad. It's not as bad as the old.
No, I have a
solid
mini
sets.
I have a Samsung mini LED at the office, and honestly to tell you, the blooming is pretty much non-existent. I have to really look for it, and like I know where to
In
look
a
for
dark
it, so I
room,
see
yeah.
it. Yeah. Also, too, one more thing I want to point out: Samsung also released some images and some footage of a folding phone. It folds and it slides open. So they're working on some new display technologies for their.
This is how Skynet
phone.
starts. It all originates from the folding phone.
That's
That's what you guys need to know.
Oh, and also one more thing. This is the last thing. LG also, Vincent had
I
it on
wanna
his
die.
Twitter. They had an LG television that has no type of input. So no inputs, no power supply. It runs off of batteries,
What?
and it has a Wi-Fi box
That bitch will last as long as the
transmits
PS5 controller.
transmits the signal to the television. Apparently, it's gonna have hot swappable batteries. So, yeah, I gotta find out more details about that.
For
but
what?
that was
What
on,
is that?
The Papa Baco, don't tell people that,
It's
man.
a-
I
it's
get
an
so many
OLED, it's an
messages
OLED.
about it already.
It's an
What's,
OLED
what's
TV.
the use
man.
for a battery OLED?
In case you're in the woods, man, camping.
There's no connections.
Oh.
There's no power supply. There's
Jeez.
nothing. It's just
It's
just completely
Wi-Fi. He
wireless.
said. Yeah, it's Wi-Fi enabled though. So how
Yeah,
are you going to use it
completely
camping?
Stupid ass. What's camping, motherfucker?
Shit.
Oh, I don't think you could use it.
I'm
camping,
glamping.
but-
Listen,
bitch.
listen. Okay, so
Generator.
See, Jesus, generator. Now you're bringing a generator into it. Fuck. Hey, shout out to the 1,100 people who sit there and listen to the TV nits and all that stuff. But we want to thank D-Batch for bringing it to the table. Some of you guys are very curious. For all
That's
of your
fun talk,
TV setting
man.
up needs,
Love it.
contact
Can I-
Fonzarelli or D-Batch. 'Cause
No, D-Batch. Contact
let me
D-Batch.
let me say one thing, because I'll be honest. I used to do a lot of videos on televisions, and I've kind of been slacking on it. And I will be getting back to it in the new year. But I will say this: if you're buying a television in 2023, a new television for your PC, for your consoles, it should absolutely either be an OLED, a QD OLED, or a mini LED. And don't tell me anything about the prices, because mini LEDs, you can buy a TCL, which is just as good as the Samsung mini LEDs, and in some cases uses the same panel for like $600. So there's no
Wow.
excuse to own a crappy television anymore. If you want to get a budget one, get a budget mini LED from TCL, or like I said, QD OLED or OLED television. This is what you should be buying
I
in
mean,
2023.
there is an excuse to buy a cheaper TV if you need the damn money. But if you got some money, let's say the choice was between a $500 TV and an $800 TV, just save up for another however long it takes. Like, trust me, it's worth it in the long run. You're talking to a guy who spent $2,000 on what was it, Samsung 6300,
don't bring
not
up
knowing
that
shit about
trash.
TVs at the time. you know, and just like really, it was a 75 inch, but still, like I would have just saved up the extra money or whatever, saved the money on the smaller size and got an actual legitimate HDR TV, because I think it should be illegal for a lot of these manufacturers to put that shit on the box when it doesn't meet any of the standards. It's not even a 10-bit panel. It's fucking 400 nits. Like, it should be illegal for them to have HDR on the boxes of 80-90% of the TVs out there.
They have HDR on TVs that you spend $150 on, and it's horrible.
It's not HDR.
Listen,
It's horrible.
If you're buying a television that's cheap and you want good HDR and it's just cheap in price, not in features, like I said, you get a TCL.
Yep.
Or you can get a Hisense. Those TVs, you look at the price, you're like, oh, it's a crap TV. Trust me, I do this for a living. I test these TVs, I sell these TVs. These are holding up, and in some cases, beating the top tier Samsung TVs. Get a cheaper Hisense 4K mini LED or a TCL. Thank me later.
Yeah. Thank him
You
later.
heard that, and you don't have to take his word for it.
You don't have to thank him later either. You can follow him at dbatch and office for all your TV setting up needs. Just message dbatch on Twitter and Xbox Live at Gemini 2. Big shout out to Josh in the super chat here. He says this case is actually going to go into 2024 at the earliest. That's when it will end.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he says that he says there are cases that aren't in federal court and were filed back in 2020. Yeah, this isn't the same. This isn't the same as some random ass. Yeah, this is Microsoft. They're like, we're going to pay each of you $10 to speed this up.
You hate.
How about $1?
Maybe not. No, we'll see. We'll see. But again, big shout out to 1,200 of you who joined us tonight. Do appreciate you. Hit the like button as we do some outros. And again, let us know your thoughts. D-Batch, another podcast. You played stuff. What was it, and how can people message you to set up their TV?
I played Callisto Protocol, cleared it. What am I playing right now? PC Simulator, Building Simulator 2. I've been playing a lot of Forza Horizon actually lately. I've been getting back into it. You guys can find me at Twitter at D_Batch, of course, on YouTube at DBatch. Today, I broadcasted NVIDIA's press release at CES. They announced the 4070 Ti. I have a video on my channel in the live stream section, so you can see all the details there. And tomorrow, I'll be streaming the Samsung and LG shows, so you can, once again, subscribe to my channel at DBatch to see all of those videos and catch up on the latest tech stuff. I'll see you guys next week.
What the fuck? Okay, I'm just reading. I'm reading what this guy's saying. Just want to make sure that you're not bringing some weird shit into the chat, buddy. Because I will Thanos, and we all know what that means. Half of y'all come back, but the other half are fucked. So follow D-Batch, Gemini 2 on Xbox Live for those that have asked. Also, we've got Fonzarelli. Where can people find you while you've been playing?
Fonz Gaming here on YouTube and on Twitter. And this weekend I haven't gamed for shit because, well, hanging out with the family. It was New Year's. Had fun with them. Was also sick too, so that was a bummer. And when I'm sick anyway, I can't really play games. It doesn't work well. So, but I can't wait to get back to High on Life and Callisto. I'm still playing both. And I do like, from what little bit I did play of High on Life last weekend, I thought it was pretty decent. It wasn't terrible, wasn't the best, but it's pretty decent so far. But I heard it gets better when you get better weapons and stuff. So we'll see.
Mac Bounty says, I've been playing on a tube TV since 2007.
Jeez.
Yeah, those things, at least you could punch them when you were mad and they still worked,
Oh, by the way, and I will be back this Sunday for Games Talk Live. So
High on Life was way.
What?
No, I was gonna say High on Life was way better than I expected it to be. The shooting I actually find kind of fun, and the humor.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I'm all for the humor in that game, man. So I'm enjoying it, to be honest.
Ham Solo, by the way, shout out to him. He says you explained that stuff really well, D-Batch. Good job. He said, "How can you set up my TV?" That's what he said.
He's only been doing it for a living for how long?
Oh my God, 20 years at least.
20 years at least. Shout out to Mr. Bushido as well. Also, shout out to Tim Dog. Where can people find you, bud? What have you been playing?
You can find me on Twitter, xcloud Tim Dog. I've been playing High on Life. I've been enjoying it. I'm about halfway through. I finished Persona finally. Then been playing High on Life.
What's your honest score for Persona?
I give it a 9.5.
Wow.
It was really good. Yeah, it was really good. I know that you weren't a fan of some.
What have you done with Tim Dog? Where's he at?
What do you mean?
I'm saying.
So
Why'd you like it so much?
It's like a dragon. I like RPGs. I like turn based. I like JRPGs. Just the quirkiness of it, the story. It wasn't as good as Like a Dragon, but it was it was pretty close. I think Like a Dragon was like a masterpiece, to be honest. Um, but I like those type of games, so I finished that, and then been playing. I bought Madden on a sale, so I went through the thing. So I'm playing a season on that, and it's pretty good. Same thing as as always. They keep updating. The game gets better and better. And High on Life, yeah, I like it. It's a surprise. It's funny, and it was a hit. I mean, out of nowhere. I think it was more probably because a lot of Xbox gamers were kind of wanted a big game, but this game kind of came out of nowhere. And shout out to Squanch Games for having a game out of nowhere. I like the comedy. I think it's a good game. I think everyone should try it. A lot of stuff that's hidden, like this TV shows, are actually interesting, and some of the stuff that you have to like find out, like that's on the side quests, or not even on the side, just like some of the videos that you can watch are pretty funny. So definitely recommend it. It's on Game Pass. There's no reason why not to play it. Other than that, just been working. It's New Year. Holidays were a blowout, like parties all the time. So I'm kind of glad now. It's just kind of calm and just work and gaming and podcasts.
Oh shit! Well, follow Tim Dog on Twitter where he does tweet about things. Xbox Obi, shout out to him. I see him in the chat. Also, hey, sup, gamer? I'm reading what you guys are saying. Ham agrees with you though, Tim. 9.5, with the exception of the DLC. Which
I
is
screwed up on the DLC. Supposedly, you have to like talk to the doctor and during the calendar year before November. You have to your bond with him has to be 10 to get to the real ending. Which
how do you bond
at that
with
point you just have to basically interact.
No.
But basically, if you don't do that, you get the original ending. And I was kind of disappointed because I don't think there's a way to go back, and there's no way I'm paying 80 hours or whatever it was, 85 hours, 70 hours, 77 hours to complete the game to get to that. I didn't have any old saves, but I wish the DLC would have, or I wish I would have known the situation on the DLC. If you are going to play Persona 5, I would definitely find out how, but when you start playing, how to get the true ending. And they'll be obviously they'll tell you how.
Yeah, every time I walked in the other room, my girl was playing it. It's like some fucking cat that turned into a van, and a bunch of weird shit is always happening. I'm like, all right, have fun, see you.
I was laughing.
But yeah, definitely follow Tim Dog. We've also got Zalker87. Where can people find you, man? And what have you been playing?
What's going on? Yeah. You guys can find me on Twitter, Zalker87, and YouTube, Zalker87. Just put out a video today after about a 3-week hiatus. Decided to take the holidays and
He's
chill with
copying
the
me.
family. I'm not on a 2-month hiatus, you bitch.
Has it been that long?
3 weeks.
Holy shit.
It's been a fucking minute, bro.
Look,
it's been like 2 months.
Tell
bro.
Xbox to do something.
All right, FTC, go! No, it's yeah. So I've been playing honestly just Fortnite and freaking Apex Legends. Just having a good time. I finally got into Fortnite. Been going crazy. I play with Dealer, play with Shady, play with a bunch of people, having a good time with it. And then Apex Legends, I got back into that because of the ranking system. I'm just loving it. But I've also been playing Midnight Suns and going through that and having a good time. And High on Life. High on Life, I think I'm like 4 hours in, 5 hours in. It's not that long of a game, I heard. But the game looks really cool. I'm enjoying it. The humor's great. But looking also forward to Dead Space, which I think is like 2 weeks away or something like
It's
that.
close.
Like, it's really close, yeah. And then there's a bunch of games coming out next month. Yeah, the holiday break, I was gonna jump into all these RPGs. Like I was like, oh, Witcher or Cyberpunk, something. Nope, just Fortnite because I'm a fucking idiot. So yeah, now back to work and glad that the holidays are over and we just get back into the swing of things. And looking forward to all the games this year. So let's get it, man. And let's get into more topics next week because gaming is finally gonna start saying shit. Hopefully this Xbox event gets announced. And thanks, chat, for coming. And everybody have a good New Year.
Yes, definitely. Well, I think that already. Yeah, that was the
also
thing. Yeah.
Go Niners. There you go.
Opposite of that. Danny Passion, he wants to know if we should upgrade to C1. I don't see why you. I mean, depends, man. You got money to just look down and you're like, I don't like this on fire. Then sure. I would just say that. That's my opinion anyway. But I don't think there's going to be a big enough difference unless you're like in an extremely bright room. But, you know, D-Batch might have a better idea. I don't know, though. We'll see if he responds in the chat. Anyway, you can follow me on Twitter at dealer_gaming, Xbox Live at II_dealer_II, and obviously here on YouTube where, you know, I do this and sometimes a video when Xbox has things that happen that are interesting. And, of course, all the messages. Thank you guys. Seriously, all the people that support the show. And everybody, you're awesome. We're out.
Later, everybody.
Nice.